Greeted President Trump and the First Lady with boos and chants of vote him out when they paid respects to Ruth Bader Ginsburg at the Supreme Court. More from CBS's Paula Reed.
This was unusual for several reasons. The first off, we saw President Trump wearing a mask. That is not something we see too often. And it was also one of the rare instances where he came really in pretty close proximity to people who openly protest and oppose him.
Mr. Trump speaking about his America First healthcare vision in Charlotte, North Carolina right now.
We're providing better care and more choice at a lower cost, substantially lower cost. We're delivering a healthier, safer, brighter, and more prosperous future for every citizen.
Louisville, Kentucky Mayor Greg Fisher is calling for peaceful protests the day after 2 officers were wounded during demonstrations over the outcome of the Breonna Taylor case.
Please pray for them and their families. Pray for our city and all who are in pain today, and commit to peace and justice.
The police department says other officers were injured and spit at today. An NFL owner is breathing easier for now. CBS's Jim Krasula explains.
Prosecutors in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, have dropped a misdemeanor charge against New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft. The move came after courts blocked their use of video that allegedly shows Kraft paying for sex at a massage parlor early last year. The 79-year-old Kraft could still face suspension or other punishment from the National Football League.
The Dow closed up 52 points. The S&P gained 9. This is CBS News.
Presented by
She, too, said that's something you expect from dictators, not an American president. Top Senate Republicans chimed in, saying of course there will be a peaceful transfer of power if Biden wins. And finally, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany was forced to clean things up, saying President Trump will accept the will of the people.
The president will accept the results of a free and fair election.
With an emphasis on fair, something the president continues to insist this one won't be, because so many more Americans will vote by mail, even though there's no evidence of significant cheating in mail-in elections. Doug Sovereign, KCBS.
After the death of his son at Santa Rita Jail in February, a father has reportedly filed a claim against Alameda County. Dr. Scott Andrews says his son should have been checked on regularly after he showed signs of medical distress. However, the man says officials did not check on Jonah Andrews, instead leaving him in a jail cell alone before finding him unresponsive. His death was ruled as accidental, caused by a medicine that he had been prescribed.
One Midwestern city is offering to pay workers. One Midwestern city is offering to pay workers big money to relocate and work remotely for a year. As KCBS's Mike DeWald reports, it's attracting a lot of attention from Bay Area residents.
The Remote Tulsa program launched 3 years ago to attract new talent to the city. Now, with so many jobs moving outside the office amid the pandemic, the offer's simple. If your job is entirely remote, you're eligible to apply.
We will pay them $10,000 if they're accepted into the program to just do that remote job that they're already doing from Tulsa for 1 year.
That's Grant Bumgarner, a community manager with Tulsa Remote. Even pre-pandemic, the program still received an impressive response.
So our first year, we were thinking we'd take 20 people. We ended up getting 10,000 applications, and we took 68.
Bumgarner says that much of the initial interest from applicants comes from those living in areas with a high cost of living.
Over the past 2 weeks, we've had over 1,000 applicants. Just about half of whom are from California, many from the Bay Area.
Beyond working remotely, the only other requirement of applicants is the ability to move within 6 months. Mike DeWald, KCBS.
California health officials are urging people to get their flu vaccines now. California Secretary of Health and Human Services Dr. Mark Ghaly and other top health officials have warned that a severe flu season could overwhelm hospitals that are also dealing with COVID-19. Ghaly says that while the state has seen progress in recent weeks with a drop in coronavirus cases, officials expect an uptick as the economy continues to open. That makes it critical for hospitals to keep bed space available. Just ahead on KCBS.
I'm Jim Taylor at an Oakland rally to remember Breonna Taylor and fight for social justice.
And on to the hour's first check of KCBS traffic. We're going to check back with Kim Vessel and talk about not one but two problems in Oakland.
Yes, double trouble. We've got a problem on 580 and one on 880. Westbound 580 is clear now. This was a crash that had things pretty jammed east of Interstate 80 and the MacArthur May. So lanes open there. Traffic is already starting to recover. A new accident in the last couple of minutes, though, now backing up traffic on 880 in the northbound direction right at the 980 interchange in Oakland. And according to the KCBS Waze force, the left lane is blocked. And traffic is still a little slow leaving Oakland on eastbound 24 as you make your way into the Caldecott Tunnel, but earlier problems in the tunnel are clear. Chilton Autobody collision cam also tracking some delays on the Nimitz Freeway. A pair of problems in Hayward. Southbound 880 just after the A Street to off-ramp. We have a hit-and-run crash wrapping up on the right-hand shoulder. And now we've got word that a car broke down southbound just before Whipple Road. The left lane is blocked, but it's moving out of the way as we speak. And further down on the Nimitz, if you're headed north or south between Milpitas and Fremont, traffic is moving along really well. And we've got no new accidents to report on Silicon Valley freeways, just starting to stack up on southbound 101 through Santa Clara. Next update, 318 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Really nice looking day. We have lingering fog at the coast, otherwise bright sunshine, great air quality. Somewhat seasonal temperatures. They're down just a couple of degrees from yesterday. They'll be up a couple of degrees tomorrow. And then the heat wave kicks in starting on Saturday through at least Monday, probably Tuesday. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. This portion of the News Watch sponsored by Amtrak.
Finally, the brightening power of vitamin C meets the correcting power of retinol in one supercharged serum. New Super C Serum from Strivectin, the only formula that combines vitamin C, retinol, and patented NIA 114. Clinically proven to restore radiance, smooth fine lines and texture, and visibly firm skin. 97% showed improvement in skin brightness, and 100% showed measure. Strivectin.com for 20% off your first Super C purchase with code Super C. That's Strivectin.com, code Super C.
You get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. So much, I'm going to have to speed things up. You can get the Farmers Signal app, and that could get you up to 15% off your auto policy. That's just for using the app and driving like the normal speed limit adhering, full stop making lane change signaling human being you are. Get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. Start with a quote by calling 1-800-FARMERS.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Now for the legal something.
Not available in every state and discount varies. Only available with select Farmers branded policy. Subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Truck and Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Remember your kid's first bike ride with no training wheels? Remember the moment you let go and she pedaled her way to freedom for the first time? You were filled with pride and terror. Now she's 16 on her first solo drive ever. But this time, she's driving a Honda Civic. Packed with a standard suite of Honda sensing safety features like Honda Lane Watch to keep an eye on every turn, as well as Apple CarPlay navigation to help her find her way, and Siri voice control, so she can check in when she does. Just like we agreed, right, young lady? It's no wonder the fuel-efficient Honda Civic is the car family's trust for that first ride, and everyone after that. Right now, everyone can secure a great deal on a 2020 Civic, but it'll be gone in a flash. Visit your Northern California Honda dealer or NorCalHondaDealers.com. Honda is family. Ask anyone who owns a Honda.
On this amazing offer, call California Deluxe Windows right now at 800-918-5100. 800-918-5100. That's 800-918-5100.
Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 774518.
It's time for the Xfinity Sports Flashback. This week in 2000 at the Summer Olympic Games in Sydney, Team USA superstar Vince Carter jumped over French setter Frédéric Weiss for an historic dunk, which came to be known in the French media as Le Dunk de la Mort, or the Dunk of Death. The U.S. won the game 106-94. Weiss said that Carter deserved to make history and, quote, sadly for me, I was on the video too. I learned people can fly. Also in 2000 at the Sydney Games, 33-year-old American Dara Torres became the oldest woman to medal in swimming, taking the bronze in both the 100-meter freestyle and butterfly. A few days later, she would win gold twice in the 4x100 freestyle relay and the 4x100 medley relay. Torres winning more medals at 5 than any other U.S. team member. This sports flashback brought to you by Xfinity, reinventing entertainment so you can enjoy it your way. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
KCBS News Time, 3:12.
Stop killing black women and girls. That is the provocative plea from a downtown Oakland demonstration today. KCBS's Jim Taylor was there.
Enough is enough is enough is enough is enough.
Our lives matter, say these organizers, like Kat Brooks, co-founder of the Anti-Police Terror Project in Oakland.
Breonna Taylor did not die in a vacuum. She died inside of a paradigm in this country where the lives of black women and girls just do not matter.
The mood here at 15th and Broadway.
I'm really sad that our justice system doesn't work. Louisville is irresponsible, and we all need to show up and be here and recognize that not everybody's free.
This is outrageous. We're going to keep taking these streets until we get what we want because the system is corrupt.
We have to show up in a mass. We have to show up for our people.
Unlike some other protest gatherings, this demonstration by and about women, peaceful. Jim Taylor, KCBS.
KCBS News Time, 3:13. We have the KCBS Sports Line in 2 minutes.
It's Jane, and with back to school looking different for most kids this year, let's talk about KiwiCo. KiwiCo has hands-on art and science projects for kids of all ages delivered to your doorstep. They can build a planetarium, blast off a bottle rocket, explore chemistry, and more, all from the comfort of home. Everything you need to make STEAM seriously fun, delivered monthly to your doorstep. Get to kiwico.com/local to save.
The Hudson family has 4 kids and 2 options for a new home. Number 1 checks a lot of boxes.
It's big, close to work.
Private tennis court.
Number 2 was kind of cramped, and that old barn was clearly haunted.
But it has 1 gig internet with AT&T Fiber, so plenty of bandwidth and unlimited data for us to stream 4K movies while Billy games.
Tina video chats, and Andrew and Maddie can do homework.
HBO Max. Good point, Ghost. AT&T Fiber comes with HBO Max included. Looks like the Hudsons are bypassing the commuter's paradise to go with 1 gig internet with AT&T Fiber. And a fun new guest.
Get super fast entertainment-grade internet with AT&T Fiber, now with unlimited data included. Find out how to bundle 1 gig internet and AT&T TV for $89.98 a month for a year. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT. Download max typically 940 megabits per second. Speeds not guaranteed and vary. $10 per month equipment fee applies. Compatible device and online account registration required for HBO Max access. New residential AT&T Fiber customers only. Other charges and restrictions apply. Visit att.com/getfiber for details.
Coleman and Raheem Mostert, the running backs, out with knee sprains. Jimmy Garoppolo out with a high ankle sprain. And this morning, Kyle Shanahan was asked how he get his team to be confident in going full speed again this week on that field.
Well, if you're playing, you better be confident full speed. I mean, people who know what they're talking about. I mean, the NFL and the NFLPA is having people look at it right now. So we'll go with that. If they don't find anything, then you go out there and play. Other people tore their ACL in this league last week, and they weren't all on turf. So you know how we felt about it. So we'll see what the professionals say, and hopefully we'll learn something.
Yeah, that was Shanahan before the field was given the green light. The 49ers complained that the surface was too sticky, and it sure looked that way, especially with the injury to Nick Bosa when his foot didn't give way as his knee took the brunt of a hit that knocked him out for the season. That was absolutely brutal. The Giants lead Colorado 3-2 7th inning. Sam Coonrod in relief of Kevin Gausman as runners on second and third and 1 man out. We'll keep you posted as the Giants very much looking to lock down this playoff spot. They lead actually the first wild card and are in good position if they continue to win to make the playoffs. The Rockies, by the way, have just scored the tying run, so it's 3-3 top 7 at Oracle. At the sports desk, Kevin Radich, KCBS.
You get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. So much, I'm going to have to speed things up. You can get the Farmers Signal app, and that could get you up to 15% off your auto policy. That's just for using the app and driving like the normal speed limit adhering, full stop making, lane change signaling human being you are. Get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. Start with a quote by calling 1-800-FARMERS.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Now for the legal something.
Not available in every state and discount varies. Only available with select Farmers branded policy. Subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Joint Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
As parents, you're also referees, teachers, coaches, chauffeurs, and more. Well, now you can take pediatrician off your list. With over 65 locations across the Bay Area, Stanford Children's Health makes accessing world-class pediatric care convenient. And with virtual visits, you can see a pediatrician or specialist from home, which means you can take chauffeur off your list too. To schedule a virtual visit or find a location near you, visit StanfordChildren's.org. Stanford Children's Health. Access to excellence.
Whenever the news breaks, wherever the news breaks.
Those power interruptions, known as public safety power shutoffs, are continuing this morning.
You can count on us.
Let's go live to KCBS reporter Tim Ryan. This is a matter of interest, Tim, to thousands of people.
A whole lot of people here, Stan. For many, electricity's been out now for more than 24 hours.
KCBS is the only news station broadcasting live around the clock. All news, all the time, right here on KCBS.
Traffic time at 3:18. Let's check back with Kim Vestal and our KCBS traffic team.
We'll update your ride in the South Bay, the Santa Clara Valley. Freeways overall in pretty decent shape, but we do have word of an accident northbound 280 near downtown San Jose. This update brought to you by Chilton Auto Body. This crash is on the Race Street off-ramp. It is blocking a lane there, so heads up if you're headed in that direction. Otherwise, 280 is moving along really well, and southbound 101, that commute continues to build with slowing in stretches from through Santa Clara before and after San Tomas Expressway and again around the 880 interchange. And as you leave the Santa Clara Valley, heading into Morgan Hill, some slowing there in stretches as well. But we also got a call about a hazard in the South Bay from the KCBS phone force. Somebody dropped a ladder right smack dab in the middle of the freeway on southbound 17, just south of Hamilton Avenue. No confirmation on whether CHP has been able to move that out of the way. So cars may be swerving, and you don't want to run over that. We've got trouble in Oakland, westbound 580, a crash just cleared east of 80. That's why it's still a bit snarled there. And then northbound 880, right at 980, the left lane still blocked by an accident. That's why it's very slow in that neighborhood. And in Berkeley, the lower East Shore, eastbound Interstate 80, we've got a minor accident at the Ashby Avenue off-ramp. It is now moved to the right-hand shoulder. Also, an important advisory for later today if you use the Golden Gate, Bay Bridge, or Dumbarton, getting reports of a go-slow caravan for all three bridges expected to start approximately at 5 o'clock, a protest. And if and when that happens, we'll be keeping a watch on that. But definitely a place to avoid if you don't plan to be part of the protest. You don't want to get stuck in the backup there. Chilton Auto Body's open to serve the Bay Area with contact-free auto body repair options, along with free pickup and delivery. Chilton Auto Body now offers virtual estimates, curbside contact-free service from the comfort of your vehicle. Book an appointment today at ChiltonAutoBody.com. Next update, 3:28 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Mancini's Sleep World 6-day forecast. Now's the perfect time to buy a mattress during Mancini's Sleep World's tax-free mattress sale. Enjoy this great air quality and bright sunshine away from the coast because it could go away this weekend. Tomorrow it will turn to moderate air quality. Temperatures will rise a couple of degrees. Heat wave starts on Saturday. It will peak on Sunday and Monday with temperatures in the inland areas in the low 100s. It could also, with a shift in the winds, bring wildfire smoke back into the Bay Area, and it will increase fire danger. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. KCBS News Time 3:21.
It is going to be a weekend of hot, dry, and windy conditions, which has officials around the Bay Area on high alert. As KCBS's Megan Goldsby reports, the National Weather Service has issued a fire weather watch.
This weather is expected to come in Saturday morning, says Anna Schneider, meteorologist with the National Weather Service, with the wind hitting the North and East Bay Hills.
So we're expecting north-northeast winds with local gusts of about 35 to 45 miles per hour. Some of the highest peaks may reach 50 miles per hour.
Which is not as strong as the last event, which did cause PG&E to issue a public safety power shutoff. It is something the utility says they may have to use again this weekend. It's going to be hot, too, with triple-digit temperatures inland Sunday and Monday.
So for Monday, it's going to be well above normal, probably about 10 to 20 degrees above normal. And then by the time we get to see Wednesday, about 5 to 15 degrees above normal.
The heat wave expected to break down by the end of the day Wednesday. This weather could also bring some smoke from the fire in Mendocino County, but not expected to look as bad as it did earlier this month. Speaking of smoke, Yosemite finally getting some better air quality, welcoming visitors back starting Friday. You do need to have reservations. Megan Goldsby, KCBS.
According to a new Berkeley IGS poll, 66% of California voters believe climate change is a major factor contributing to the greater number of wildfires in the state in recent years. The poll also found that 3 in 4 California voters believe the threat that wildfires now pose to the state is much more serious than it has been in the past. Plus, more than a third feel it's highly likely that wildfires will cause serious damage to homes in their local area within the next 10 years.
United Airlines wants to make it a little easier for you to take that Hawaiian vacation you may have been putting off because of the COVID-19 pandemic. KCBS reporter Melissa Colross explains how.
Book a flight from San Francisco International to Hawaii on United and
you'll have an opportunity to go to the airport to get pre-COVID tested the day of your flight, or you can do a mail-in testing and you can do a self-test at home.
That's Lori Augustine with United Airlines. Travelers to Hawaii have been subject to a mandatory 2-week quarantine, but can skip it beginning next month with a negative COVID test. And United wants to make getting tested a little more convenient. As for the test available at SFO, Augustine says,
obviously, if you test positive, you will not be able to travel. But if it's a negative test, you'll be able to show us, and it'll grant you entry with the Hawaii government. And they do honor that, so you don't have to get quarantined.
The tests aren't cheap, but not only could travelers benefit from the program, the state of Hawaii could as well, says SF Gate senior travel correspondent Chris McGinnis.
The state of Hawaii is highly dependent on tourism, and they've got to get this right. If they don't, I'm very concerned about not only the state of Hawaii's travel business, but the entire state's economy.
United's testing program at SFO begins on October 15th. Melissa Colross, KCBS.
On to the Money Watch with Jason Brooks.
2020 has been cruel to the restaurant industry, and Wall Street is revising its expectations for what constitutes a good performance in the business. Olive Garden parent Darden Restaurants sustained a 28 recent quarter, but it managed a much better than expected profit, and that's winning over the market. With many restaurants closed to indoor dining, Olive Garden sales were down over 27%, while Longhorn Steakhouse was down over 16%. But Darden is expecting stronger sales in the months ahead, with more of its locations reopening. Shares in Darden surged over 8% higher. First-time unemployment claims were up by 4,000 to 870,000, but there was improvement in continuing claims, dropping by 112,000 to 12.6 million. Stock market bounced back after heavy selling on Wednesday, the Dow gaining 52 points, NASDAQ rising 39 points, and the S&P up by 9 points.
Football is back in action. That means you can watch your favorite players like Baker Mayfield and Saquon Barkley on Hulu Plus Live TV. Start your free trial today to watch football all season. Get access to over 65 channels and the largest streaming TV library, including exclusive originals and the hottest shows and movies. Live TV plan required. Restrictions apply. Learn more at hulu.com.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter finds the right people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
With ZipRecruiter, we've hired everyone from accountants to project managers to field scientists.
And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/today. That's ZipRecruiter.com/today.
You're working from home. So how do you connect with coworkers and clients? With RingCentral, the #1 global communication solution for business. RingCentral makes talking, texting, collaborating, and video calls easy. And it's all on one platform. And when we say everyone should be connected, we mean it. It's why we're giving RingCentral free to educators, health providers, and nonprofits. Learn more at ringcentral.com. Welcome to the new RingCentral.
Finally, the brightening power of vitamin C meets the correcting power of retinol in one supercharged serum. New Super C Serum from Strivectin, the only formula that combines vitamin C, retinol, and patented NIA 114. Clinically proven to restore radiance, smooth fine lines and texture, and visibly firm skin. 97% showed improvement in skin brightness, and 100% showed measured improvement in skin firmness. Visit Strivectin.com for 20% off your first Super C purchase with code SuperC. That's Strivectin.com, code SuperC.
You get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. So much, I'm going to have to speed things up. You can get new car replacement, so if your car is totaled, Farmers will pay to replace it with a new one of the same make and model, like reuniting with an old friend with the added benefit of that new car smell. So it's really new car and new car smell replacement. Get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. Start with a quote by calling 1-800-FARMERS.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Now for the legal something.
Optional coverage not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policy, subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Remember your kid's first bike ride with no training wheels? Remember the moment you let go and she pedaled her way to freedom for the first time? You were filled with pride and terror. Now she's 16 on her first solo drive ever. But this time, she's driving a Honda Civic. Packed with a standard suite of Honda sensing safety features like Honda Lane Watch to keep an eye on every turn, as well as Apple CarPlay navigation to help her find her way, and Siri voice control, so she can check in when she does. Just like we agreed, right, young lady? It's no wonder the fuel-efficient Honda Civic is the car family's trust for that first ride, and everyone after that. Right now, everyone can secure a great deal on a 2020 Civic, but it'll be gone in a flash. Visit your Northern California Honda dealer or NorCalHondaDealers.com. Honda is family. Ask anyone who owns a Honda.
Once again, we check KCBS traffic with Kim Vestal. Kim?
Well, all was well for your ride out of San Francisco to the lower deck of the Bay Bridge not too long ago. And then, where'd all those cars come from? No accidents, but suddenly we've got a substantial backup on northbound 101 for your trek to the lower deck. So it's below the limit, a pretty solid line of cars and trucks there on northbound 101 from Cesar Chavez. No delays on the span itself, though. And once you get across the bridge, if you head eastbound on Interstate 80 is pretty jammed up into Berkeley. We did have a crash. It's not blocking any lanes now, eastbound Interstate 80 at Ashby Avenue, but that's not helping things. Once you get through the mess in Berkeley, slow in stretches as you continue the ride up to the, through Richmond and the Upper East Shore Freeway, but no other accidents to report ahead of you there. Next update at 3:38 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Really nice looking afternoon. Lingering fog at the coast. Otherwise, a lot of sunshine. Great air quality. We are expecting it to degrade over time. Moderate air quality tomorrow. We should see hazy sunshine for the weekend with that heat wave as a shift in the winds could bring wildfire smoke back to the Bay Area. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
It's Jane, and with back to school looking different for most kids this year, let's talk about KiwiCo. KiwiCo has hands-on art and science projects for kids of all ages delivered to your doorstep. They can build a planetarium, blast off a bottle rocket, explore chemistry, and more, all from the comfort of home. Everything you need to make STEAM seriously fun, delivered monthly to your doorstep. Get to kiwico.com/local to save 30% on your first month. That's KIWICO.com/local.
What's driving the conversation in California today? Every weekday at this time, we explore a topic that's making news in our state. This is the state of California.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Doug Sovereign, KCBS political reporter and host of The State of California, along with Patty Rising and Jeff Bell.
President Trump and Senate Republicans are pushing ahead with their plan to confirm a conservative nominee to replace the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court.
That has Democrats already plotting revenge if they win the November elections, ranging from adding more justices to the court to abolishing the filibuster.
But there's another path related to the idea of judicial review or judicial supremacy. that the Supreme Court has the power to decide whether laws are constitutional or not, and, for example, who wins a presidential election. We all take that idea for granted, but try to find that in the Constitution itself. Have we vested too much power in the Supreme Court, and was this not what the framers intended? Well, for more, we are joined today on the KCBS Ring Central Newsline by Larry Kramer, constitutional law scholar, former Supreme Court clerk, longtime dean of Stanford Law School, and for the last 8 years or so, he's been president of the Hewlett Foundation. Thanks so much for being with us, Larry, and let's begin by explaining, does the Supreme Court actually have the power that modern Americans think it does?
So, well, it has it if it exercises and gets away with it. But you want to distinguish between the power of judicial review, which is the power to say that a law is unconstitutional, and the power of judicial supremacy, which is the power to have that be the last word so nobody else can disagree and you have to amend the Constitution to change it. The former is one thing. The latter is really a much more recent development and where all the trouble comes.
Well, let's talk a little bit about those checks and balances and, in a very practical sense, not follow the edicts of the court?
Actually, yes. I mean, that wouldn't be a very good thing to do, but if you look across American history, there are lots of other tools the Constitution gives to push back at the court if it goes off, it gets too far, out of sync with where the rest of the society is. So they can, and these are the tools that have been used historically. They can pack the court by adding judges. They can strip the court's jurisdiction by taking away cases. They can cut its budget. They can change its procedures. All of those powers are clearly vested in Congress in the Constitution. There's no question about it. And they used to exercise them all the time.
I want to follow up on what you said earlier on the notion that this idea of judicial supremacy is a more recent development. How so?
So the idea of judicial review emerged in the early years of the Constitution. There was a push to actually make that into supremacy. If you actually read Marbury v. Madison carefully, the court very clearly backed away from that position. And there's been a fight across American history with, from time to time, the court trying to assert that it had the final word and always getting pushed back and then backing down. The fight, the way that took place was whoever were progressive or liberal at the time opposed strong judicial authority. Whoever were conservative at the time, because what counts as liberal and conservative has changed, supported strong judicial authority. And then the Warren Court showed up in the 1960s, and here you have, for the first and only time in American history, an activist liberal court. So the left flips and supports judicial authority, and the right stays just where it is and continues to embrace, finally, suddenly everybody agrees it's the court, to how do you interpret the Constitution, and you get the modern fights that we have today between originalism and living constitutionalism. But that's something that really starts in the 60s and only becomes established in the 80s. That's why the Bork hearings were so important, because that was sort of the moment in popular culture where kind of everybody accepted that, oh my God, who we put on the Supreme Court is so important because they're going to get final say over all these important questions.
So what would James Madison and Thomas Jefferson make of how powerful the court has become and how all-important Supreme Court nominations have become, and is there any way to change it?
Well, we know what they would say because it was attempted while they were there, and they pushed back really hard, and they were opposed to it. I mean, strongly opposed. It is a political issue is the point. The debate today about whether we're going to politicize the court or not is the court is already politicized. It's been politicized. So the question isn't whether, it's a question of how the politics will play out. And so the way it plays out, is think of it this way. If you're playing a game and it requires cooperation and one side stops cooperating and the other side keeps cooperating, the side that stops cooperating wins over and over again, right? If you want to actually get back to cooperation, both sides have to stop cooperating until both sides realize that nobody wins this way. So right now, the Republicans have stopped cooperating. What they did in the case of Merrick Garland and what they're doing now in the case of Justice Ginsburg's replacement is completely unprecedented in American history and pure politics. So the question for the Democrats is, do we push back? And what are the tools? And, they have to win the election to have any capacity, but the tools are the ones that have been talked about, which is, fine, put your replacement on, and then when we gain control, we will add 4 justices to the court and neutralize that. And that's actually the route to get back to a depoliticized judiciary.
And that has been done in the past. I know the court has changed the number of members it has over the years. Was that done for similar reasons in the past?
Yeah, so when Jefferson won his election, the Federalists shrunk the court so he wouldn't get an appointment. When the Republicans gained control, they increased it so he would get it. My favorite example is when Lincoln got elected, Congress increased the size of the court so he could have some appointments. When he was assassinated and Johnson took over, they shrunk it so he wouldn't get any. When Grant won, they increased it again so he would. And then there's FDR's, famous court packing, which is always presented as if it failed. It didn't. It succeeded completely. The court struck down the first New Deal. Roosevelt and Congress passed the second one. The court looked like it was going to strike it down. They started pressing. Roosevelt proposed court packing. The court backed down. It upheld the second New Deal. And at the same time, one of the justices retired, Vandevanter, and Roosevelt replaced him with Hugo Black. So now he had his 5-4 court. Got exactly what he needed.
Is all that expansion and contraction in and of itself a good thing?
Well, no, and it doesn't. It's not like it happens every day. Again, it's one of those things where the paradox is if you know it can happen, then both sides are less likely to engage in the shenanigans that make it necessary. So it's only happened a few times in American history, but it was always available, and the fact that it was available is one of the things that made it necessary so rarely.
All right, well, thank you so much. Fascinating stuff. Larry Kramer knows his material a lot better than we do. Former Dean of Stanford Law School, now President of the Hewlett Foundation. Thanks, Larry. Good to talk with you. You can hear The State of California every weekday at 3:30 p.m. It's also available at kcbsradio.com and wherever you get your podcasts. You can find me on Twitter at Sovereign Nation. I'm Doug Sovereign, KCBS.
The State of California is sponsored by Wasatch Academy. Protect your child's education in a central Utah bubble. Enrolling now for in-person classes.
Let's get you caught up on KCBS traffic around the Bay Area. We check back with Kim Vestal for that.
As we watch the traffic back up on northbound 101 getting to the lower deck of the Bay Bridge, it's moving just slow from Cesar Chavez. We also had an issue on the upper deck of the Bay Bridge, a stalled truck that was blocking the far right lane at westbound on the upper deck. It has been cleared, and thanks to our own Dan Mitchinson on his way in who reported that. So traffic is back to normal on the upper deck. And also, I want to repeat a bridge advisory for later today. Breonna Taylor protests are planned across 3 Bay Area bridges starting around 5 o'clock, the Dumbarton, the Golden Gate, and the Bay Bridge. So unless you're there to protest or be part of the demonstrations, you may want to avoid those bridges. And we're keeping a very close watch on the situation as we get closer to 5 o'clock. No problems on the San Mateo Bridge of the Dumbarton right now. And I'm also looking at your ride on the peninsula. Beautiful blue, clear skies, and traffic is rolling right along on 280 and 101 with no new accidents to report. Your next update at 3:48 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Lovely afternoon, pretty seasonal temperatures. Air quality will turn moderate for some spots tomorrow, a few degrees warmer, and then a heck of a lot warmer starting on Saturday, at least through Monday. Traffic and weather together on KCBS, sponsored by PG&E.
As parents, you're also referees, teachers, coaches, chauffeurs, and more. Well, now you can take pediatrician off your list. With over 65 locations across the Bay Area, Stanford Children's Health makes accessing world-class pediatric care convenient. And with virtual visits, you can see a pediatrician or specialist from home, which means you can take chauffeur off your list too. To schedule a virtual visit or find a location near you, visit StanfordChildren's.org. Stanford Children's Health. Access to excellence.
Finally, the brightening power of vitamin C meets the correcting power of retinol in one supercharged serum. New Super C Serum from Strivectin, the only formula that combines vitamin C, retinol, and patented NIA 114. Clinically proven to restore radiance, smooth fine lines and texture, and visibly firm skin. 97% showed improvement in skin brightness, and 100% showed measured improvement in skin firmness. Try New Super C Serum today risk-free. Visit Strivectin.com for free shipping and returns. That's Strivectin.com.
You get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. So much, I'm going to have to speed things up. You can get the claim-free discount, which gives you money off your homeowner's policy if you've been claim-free for 3 consecutive years. Also applies for 3 successive years, 3 years straight, and what's known to insurance fans as the claim-free three-peat. Get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. Start with a quote by calling 1-800-FARMERS.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Now for the legal something.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies subject to terms and conditions underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
It's Jane, and if you're a parent struggling to keep your kids engaged this school year, let's talk about KiwiCo. KiwiCo has hands-on art and science projects for kids of all ages delivered to your doorstep. Seriously fun things that aren't on a screen, like building a crystal chemistry garden, designing a solar spinner, all from the comfort of home. Everything you need to make STEAM seriously fun, delivered monthly to your doorstep. Get to kiwico.com/local to save 30% on your first month. That's KIWICO.com/local.
Here's an employment rights advisory. If you have worked in retail in California for the past 4 years, listen up. Some retail companies have been known to require their store employees to undergo searches of their personal bags and purses, with wait times often a half hour or more, both before and after working shifts, without paying those employees for the time. If you have been searched before and or after your shifts, you may be entitled to compensation. Call Robin Workman now to see if you qualify. Ms. Workman and her firm represent employees in virtually every aspect of employment law and will answer your questions about your rights as a current or former employee. Again, if you have worked in retail in California over the past 4 years, and if you've been subject to searches either before or after your shift, and you were not paid for that time, contact Robin Workman now to see if you qualify for compensation. Call 844-99-WORKMAN or go online to callworkmanlaw.com. Again, that's 844-99-WORKMAN or call workmanlaw.com.
The wait is over. Football is back in action. That means you can watch your favorite players like Baker Mayfield and Saquon Barkley on Hulu Plus Live TV. Start your free trial today to watch football all season. Get access to over 65 channels and the largest streaming TV library, including exclusive originals and the hottest shows and movies. Live TV plan required. Restrictions apply. Learn more at hulu.com.
KCBS News Time, 3:43.
Advocates are surprised and pleased after a 5,000-year-old Native American burial site in Berkeley has made the list of America's 11 most endangered historic places. And that list was released by the National Trust for Historic Preservation today. Advocates hope that the site's inclusion may help to save it from redevelopment. The Save West Berkeley, Shellman, and Village Site Coalition says the 1900 4th Street project would excavate 2 acres of the land.
Coming up in about a minute, the Giants need to come from behind today against the Rockies. We're going to check in with Kevin the Rat.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter finds the right people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
With ZipRecruiter, we've hired everyone from accountants to project managers to field scientists.
And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/today. That's ZipRecruiter.com/today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.com. That's cars with the K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll get a vacation voucher and maximum tax deduction.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also accepting boats, motorcycles, RVs, and real estate donations.
Whether it's a major collision or just a scratch or a door ding, Chilton Auto Body's 11 convenient Bay Area locations are just a call or a click away. Stop in or schedule an appointment today at ChiltonAutoBody.com. That's Chilton Auto Body.
I'm Jim Taylor. Remember those Fairyland keys?
It's this unifying reminder of our childlike wonder.
Let's talk a little Giants baseball. We have Kevin the Rat at the Bay Area Chevy Dealers Sports Desk.
Yeah, Patty, Rockies were trailing 3-2 in the 7th. Sam Coonrod for the Giants came on for Kevin Gausman, the starter, and Colorado scored twice to take the lead. Pilar, a one-out infield hit. Story, a ground rule double to left. Blackman's ground out to short scored Pilar. And then Fuentes with an RBI single. And the Giants have just tied the game in the 8th inning. The amazing Brandon Belt has just homered to left field. What a year he is having. He has been scolding the ball of late, and he has tied the game with a solo shot to lead off the 8th, going to left field. So it's 4-4 Giants and Rockies. The Giants hold down that first wild card spot in the NL. The Giants, Reds, Marlins, Phillies, Brewers, and Cardinals all vying for the final 4 playoff spots in the National League, and all within 1 game of each other. It's absolutely insane. The A's and Dodgers tonight, Fires against Buehler in L.A. at 6:40. In the NBA playoffs, Lakers in Denver at 6 p.m., L.A. up 2-1. Football tonight, the 1-1 Jaguars host the 0-2 Miami Dolphins. And George Kittle was limited in practice today, but showing signs he might be good to go for the 49ers Sunday against the Giants in the Meadowlands. At the sports desk, Kevin Radich, KCBS.
The KCBS Sports Desk is sponsored by the Bay Area Chevy dealers. Visit BayAreaChevroletDealers.com.
It's Jay Brownrigg, and now it's time for you to drive off in your new Audi from Audi Moret. Lease a 2020 Q5e for only $459 a month, or 2020 A4 for just $419 a month, or take advantage of 0% interest for up to 66 months on select models. Visit AudiMarin.com and click Indigo Direct to shop from home. Audi Marin, off the 101 in San Rafael.
See retailer for details. For highly qualified customers only. Offer valid through September 30th, 2020.
Owning Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS 1797976. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
Hey, Gary, anything new with you?
Bud, can you believe it? I just crushed my mortgage payment again with Owning. But this is the last refi for me.
Why?
Because I got a 30-year fixed rate at 2.375%, 2.474 APR. Can you believe that?
Get your last mortgage refi from Owning. Just call 855-5-OWNING or go to owning.com and ask for your last refi at today's 30-year fixed 2.375%, 2.474 APR. That's 30-year fixed at 2.375%, 2.474 APR.
Why not get your last refi from Owning? You just got to call 855-5-OWNING or go to owning.com. That's 855-5-OWNING or go to owning.com.
Just call 855-5-OWNING or go to owning.com.
Finally, the brightening power of vitamin C meets the correcting power of retinol in one supercharged serum. New Super C Serum from Strivectin, the only formula that combines vitamin C, retinol, and patented NIA 114. Clinically proven to restore radiance, smooth fine lines and texture, and visibly firm skin. 97% showed improvement in skin brightness, and 100% showed measured improvement in skin firmness. Try new Super C Serum today risk-free. Visit Strivectin.com for free shipping and returns. That's Strivectin.com.
This portion of the News Watch sponsored by Rick Hendricks, Pleasanton Auto Mall.
We have an accident on Highway 92 near Half Moon Bay, and with more details, once again, here's Kim Vestal.
I mentioned in my last report just 10 minutes ago that traffic was rolling right along with no delays on 280. But if you are headed west off of 280 on Highway 92, we do have some brake lights in both directions, but especially in the westbound direction. So it is a collision westbound, and it's just after the quarry, and we do have the westbound lane blocked. So traffic is backing up almost to Skyline Boulevard westbound, and a little slow eastbound as you make your way towards 280 coming back from Half Moon Bay. Highway 1, though, traffic along the coast looks just great, very light. And we've got also delays in Dublin now because of a bicycle-related accident southbound at 680 north of Al Costa. I guess somebody lost a bicycle off the back of a moving vehicle, so everyone's swerving. Again, this is on southbound 680 just north of Al Costa, and you don't want to crash into that for sure. But no other delays on 680 if you're headed into Walnut Creek northbound, starting to back up there from Rudgear through the Walnut Creek interchange. Earlier accidents, though, through Walnut Creek and Pleasant Hill are gone. Lanes are open, and we've got the usual slowing on eastbound Highway 4 as you head eastbound from before 680 to Willow Pass Road. But no delay or no accidents, no new ones on Highway 4 in either direction. Follow us on Twitter, too, for additional updates at KCBS AM FM Traffic. Next update at 3:58 on the Traffic Leader, KCBS.
Mancini's Sleep World 6-day forecast. Let's get the scoop from KPIX 5's Paul Hay. Hagen.
After a foggy and cloudy start, it turned into a nice afternoon across the Bay Area, and we have nice weather in store to finish off the work week on Friday before a big heat wave starts to kick in this weekend. Temperatures tonight dropping down to the upper 50s and low 60s. We'll start off Friday with some fog and low cloud cover, but not as much as this morning, and it's not going to be as stubborn. Plenty of sunshine from midday Friday through the rest of the day. High temperatures inland reaching up into the low to mid 80s. A mix of upper 60s and low 70s around the bay with mid 60s along the coast. Temperatures start to heat up on Saturday, but it's not going to be too bad yet. Upper 80s and low 90s inland with mid to upper 70s around the bay and upper 60s near the coast. Then close to 100 degrees inland on Sunday with highs around the bay in the 80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Hagen with your KPIX5 KCBS forecast.
You get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. So much, I'm going to have to speed things up. You can get the claim-free discount, which gives you money off your homeowner's policy if you've been claim-free for 3 consecutive years. Also applies for 3 successive years, 3 years straight, and what's known to insurance fans as the claim-free three-peat. Get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. Start with a quote by calling 1-800-FARMERS.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Now for the legal something.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
It's Jane, and if you're a parent struggling to keep your kids engaged this school year, let's talk about KiwiCo. KiwiCo has hands-on art and science projects for kids of all ages delivered to your doorstep. Seriously fun things that aren't on a screen, like building a crystal chemistry garden, designing a solar spinner, all from the comfort of home. Everything you need to make STEAM seriously fun, delivered monthly to your doorstep. Get to kiwico.com/local to save 30% on your first month. That's KIWICO.com/local.
KCBS News Time, 3:52.
All right, thanks to Tom Lippy and Kathy Whitman, who are editing this afternoon. Fairyland is an Oakland icon on the shores of Lake Merritt, but it remains closed and continues to lose money these days. KCBS's Jim Taylor has more on a weekend fundraiser.
I first visited Fairyland at the age of 6. One of the first of its kind, a themed children's playground, an inspiration for Disneyland, revered by children of all ages.
The idea of making sure that a place like Fairyland is preserved becomes paramount to people who are attached to that legacy.
Rafael Casal with his Bay Area bud, David Diggs, they co-wrote, acted in, and produced the Oakland-based flick Blind Spotting, soon to be a TV show. They're back from Hollywood, co-host a live streaming event this Saturday, a celebrity-packed fundraiser featuring what they call homegrown fairy tales to speak to us all.
Fairy tales are lesson builders for kids, right? They're like moral compass builders for kids. And I think when you are exposed to that really, really young, you're just inclined to continue the ritual of imagination longer.
And remember that magical Fairyland key that so many of us had as kids?
It's this unifying reminder of our childlike wonder.
Jim Taylor, KCBS.
Ski vacations in Austria this winter are set to be more sport than partying thanks to the coronavirus pandemic. An explanation from CBS's Elaine Kopp.
Après-ski parties could be a thing of the past in Austria as the government there tries to bring a second wave of coronavirus infections under control. Dancing on tables has been banned. Instead, skiers hoping to unwind after a day on the slopes will have to eat or drink seated at socially distanced tables. Often rowdy nights in Austria's ski resort bars were blamed for spreading the coronavirus last winter, and officials don't want to see that happen again. Elaine Cobb, CBS News.
No dancing on tables. Wall Street today, kind of a roller coaster day. Here's Jason Brooks.
There may be no stock out there plummeting as fast as Nikola's. The electric vehicle firm lost a quarter of its value in its latest sell-off on Wednesday and got hammered again today as Wall Street jumps off Nikola's bandwagon following the sudden resignation of executive chairman and founder Trevor Milton after a noted Wall Street short seller called the company a fraud built on false claims. A Wedbush analyst note says the downside risks outweigh any positives for the stock, and while Wedbush believes that Nikola's EV and hydrogen fuel cell ambitions are attainable in the semi-truck market, they have serious concerns that the execution and timing of these ambitious goals will stay on track over the coming years. GM took an 11% stake in Nikola as a manufacturing partner right before the accusations came out from Hindenburg Research. Nikola's stock plunged by almost 10% today. It was a much better day for Tesla, rebounding from a 10% loss on Wednesday, finishing 2% higher today. The Dow gained 52 points, NASDAQ up 39 points, the S&P rose 9 points. On the Money Watch, Jason Brooks, KCBS.
When kids need to see their pediatrician, it's rarely convenient. With 65 Bay Area locations and virtual visits, Stanford Children's Health makes world-class pediatric care incredibly convenient. For a virtual visit or a location near you, visit stanfordchildrens.org.
Here's an employment rights advisory. If you have worked in retail in California for the past 4 years, listen up. Some retail companies have been known to require their store employees to undergo searches of their personal bags and purses, with wait times often a half hour or more, both before and after working shifts, without paying those employees for the time. If you have been searched before and or after your shifts, you may be entitled to compensation. Call Robin Workman now to see if you qualify. Ms. Workman and her firm represent employees in virtually every aspect of employment law and will answer your questions about your rights as a current or former employee. Again, if you have worked in retail in California over the past 4 years, and if you've been subject to searches either before or after your shift, and you were not paid for that time, contact Robin Workman now to see if you qualify for compensation. Call 844-99-WORKMAN or go online to callworkmanlaw.com. Again, that's 844-99-WORKMAN or call workmanlaw.com.
Finally, the brightening power of vitamin C meets the correcting power of retinol in one supercharged serum. New Super C Serum from Strivectin, the only formula that combines vitamin C, retinol, and patented NIA 114. Clinically proven to restore radiance, smooth fine lines and texture, and visibly firm skin. 97% showed improvement in skin brightness, and 100% showed measured improvement in skin firmness. Try New Super C Serum today risk-free. Visit Strivectin.com for free shipping and returns. That's Strivectin.com.
The wait is over. Football is back in action. That means you can watch your favorite players like Baker Mayfield and Saquon Barkley on Hulu Plus Live TV. Start your free trial today to watch football all season. Get access to over 65 channels and the largest streaming TV library, including exclusive originals and the hottest shows and movies. Live TV plan required. Restrictions apply. Learn more at Hulu.com.
Time again for KCBS Traffic at 3:58. Kim Vestal waiting for us in your local Honda dealers traffic center.
We'll start in the South Bay, just getting word of a crash northbound 880 on the Brokaw Road off-ramp. Watch out, it's kind of a mess here. Car lost control and crashed into a fence. Better news on 280, we had a fender bender on the Ray Street off-ramp from northbound 280. That has been cleared. No other delays or slowing at all for your ride on 280 between Cupertino and downtown San Jose. In fact, South Bay traffic overall is in really good shape. Even Highway 17 in the Santa Cruz Mountains, traffic is light, moving well between Los Gatos and Santa Cruz County. We will take the Chilton Auto Body collision cam back to Highway 92, which is really backing up now if you're headed to Half Moon Bay or on your way there. Major delays because of a crash blocking the lane westbound just after the quarry. Traffic is already stacked up westbound from before Skyline, and eastbound minor slowing. Next update at 4:08 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
After the fog went away, some of it's still lingering at the coast. A really nice afternoon around the Bay Area. Great air quality. It will turn moderate air quality tomorrow in spots. And then the heat wave kicks in starting on Saturday. Traffic and weather together on KCBS. It's Thursday, September 24th, 2020. Coming up.
I'm Margie Schaefer with efforts for a targeted approach to stop drug dealing in the Tenderloin.
My office sued 28 known drug dealers.
I'm Megan Goldsby on when this weekend's fire weather is expected in the Bay Area and how bad it may be this time.
Good afternoon. I'm Patty Rising along with Jeff Bell. CBS News is next.
When you need to know, KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1. San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, a radio.com station.
4 o'clock.
The president continues to cast doubt on election integrity.
We want to make sure the election is honest, and I'm not sure that it can be.
President booed while honoring a late Supreme Court justice.
The chants were appalling.
Police officers recovering after being shot during protests.
Violence is never the answer.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Matt Piper in New York. With 40 days until Election Day, President Trump is refusing to say that if he were to lose, that he'd leave his post gracefully. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Asked again whether he'd commit to a peaceful transfer of power, the president again declined.
We want to make sure the election is honest, and I'm not sure that it can be.
The mass mailing of ballots that Mr. Trump has railed against is only occurring in 9 states and Washington, D.C., while in Charlotte, the president signed an executive order aiming to lower drug costs. Without detailing how he'd fund it, he said Medicare would soon be mailing recipients $200 cards to help pay for prescriptions.
I will always take care of our wonderful senior citizens. Joe Biden won't be doing this.
Stephen Portnoy, CBS News.
Democrats are accusing Mr. Trump of being ready to undermine democracy to stay in power. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
It would not be a good thing for our country, for our election to be ignored by the president.
President Trump receiving backlash today at the High Court. CBS's Christina Ruffini explains.
President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump arrived at the Supreme Court Thursday morning to pay their respects to Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Mourners waiting in line to do the same booed and chanted when they saw the president. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany called out the demonstrators from the briefing room.
I thought it was an appalling and disrespectful thing to do as the president honored Justice Ginsburg.
In Louisville,
no justice.
And in cities across the country, protests continue as many wonder why a police officer is charged for firing shots into a neighboring apartment of Breonna Taylor, but no officers for the bullets that hit her. During protests last night, 2 Louisville police officers were shot. They survived. Interim Police Chief Robert Schroeder on the suspect.
Lorenzo Johnson has been charged with 2 counts of assault to first degree and 14 counts of wanton endangerment, all directed against police officers.
Taylor's family has continually asked that protests be peaceful. This just in, the government has just put the first black inmate to death since federal executions resumed earlier this year. Christopher Villalba received a lethal injection at a prison in Terre Haute, Indiana moments ago for killing a couple in Texas in 1999. He's the 7th federal execution since July. The Dow gained 52 today. Now this.
Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for surprise credit card charges and helps if you need to fix them. Capital One. What?
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Firefighters brought in from Mexico are now helping fight fires out west. And KCBS TV's Kara Finstrom says investigators are now looking to see if a power utility blamed in previous fires is responsible for the still burning Bobcat fire outside Los Angeles.
It started September 6th near an Edison substation at the Cogswell Dam. Edison confirms they had a circuit problem just minutes before, but also stresses cameras captured smoke in the area even before that circuit issue. Edison just reached a settlement of more than $1 billion connected to the 2017 Thomas Fire and Montecito mudslides.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says if and when there's a COVID vaccine, an independent committee is going to test it first when it gets to his state.
New York State will have